Youngpreneurs Podcast, episode number 159, with your host, Victor Ahipeni. What's up, world? Sweet Mother of Jesus, I have a guest on today, Halley Gray. We spat lyrical, we threw out some really cool things and joined in on her story. It was quite ironic. I was the New Zealander living in Australia. She was the American who had been living in New Zealand, and we were kind of all over the place. But what Halley has done, she's had some trials and tribulations like many of us in the business world, but through that she's learned, systemized and evolved, and she helps designers, VAs, coaches develop months of clients booked up in advance, which is what we all want. We want these waiting lists, we want raving loyal fans, and we want to have a successful business, and she helps that through her company Evolve and Succeed. Just a pre-warning, there is some pirate language that comes out through there, so if you're listening with kids and they don't want to hear it, then they might want to block their ears, but it's all authentic and transparent. There's nothing too bad in here. But if you enjoy the show and you want to connect with Halley, make sure you jump over to passiveincomeyoung.com/EP159, where you can grab all the show notes as well as the links to connect with Halley, and a 4-video series where we show you how to, or I show you how to start a business online for $0, get it launched, get clarity, and start getting some revenue in your bank account to reinvest and further grow. So check that out, guys. Grab a pen and paper if you're looking to grow your business and get a flood of new clients, because Halley's going to show you the way. And as always, keep living life on your own terms. You're listening to the Youngpreneurs Podcast, the #1 resource online for under 35-year-olds, where we chat twice a week to the most inspiring entrepreneurs in the world. We have it all. If you're looking for inspiration, guidance, or actionable tips to help you transition from that job into a business, or if you're ready to take that business to a whole new level, then this is the place to be. Get ready to live life on your own terms. Youngpreneurs, what's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Youngpreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Victor Ahipeni. Again, thanks for choosing to spend some time with me and my awesome guest today, Halley Gray, and she is the CEO of Evolve and Succeed, and she's got an amazing story that's going to be able to share with you, particularly some of you looking to improve your marketing abilities of yourself or your business. Welcome to the show, Halley.
Thanks for having me, Victor. I'm so excited to be here.
It's we were speaking off air before, and it's quite interesting. Me being in Australia, God, Jesus, a New Zealander living in Australia, and Halley being an American who lived in New Zealand for the last little while. It's kind of a all around about and in circles, but it's awesome to have you here, and I'd just like to kind of get a bit of a background on people, not a background check as in like police or anything, but what growing up and stuff looked like for you. Like, was it was entrepreneurship, marketing, business, was all the whatever buzzwords you want to chuck in there, was that always on the cards for you?
Hell no. My game plan when I was in high school is that I was going to go live on the Isle of Skye and become a falconer, because that's what I thought I was going to do. And then my family intervened and were like, you need to go to college or university, wherever you are. And I was like, not really what I want to do. I've been studying Japanese my whole life and was really into languages and science. And so actually what I wanted to be was a marine biologist, but I was terrified of sharks. And so my plan was I would live in a hovel in Hawaii and I would study the sharks on a boat from the top of the boat with a microscope looking down. And, as a game plan, it had a lot of flaws, but I was pretty passionate about it. And working for myself didn't really hit home until I was 20. And I was like, wow, it fucking sucks to work for other people. And I really enjoy teaching, and I really enjoy language and science, and marketing is basically just this testing language all the time to try to get an outcome you want. So I just fell into it, and I was like, I want to be a business owner, but I don't know what I want to do. And then I just really fucking loved launching stuff online. And so I was like, fuck it. I got to take the risk. I got to jump. And I did it.
And what is it? Those who can do, those who can't teach. So
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Well, Burns will love it, Victor Burns.
I don't, it's all right. It's all right. It's just me throwing stones in a glass house. It's
Throw it, my friend. Throw
so
it.
when you jumped in, was it like trepidation, or was it 20 years old? Like, what have I got to lose? I may as well give this a go. And was there a ton of learning that went on in that initial phase?
A lot of learning. Apparently, you need a parachute when you're skydiving, which seems like a ridiculous amount of weight. I mean, you don't need that. So I didn't actually get started into entrepreneurship until like 5 or 6 years later. I just knew when I was 20 that I was like, I want to start a business. I have no idea what I want to do. Because business always seemed like such a corporate word, and like, let's go into an office with, horrible lighting and wear pinching tailored suits so that we can pretend like we're important and just pass papers around. So it took a while to find a business model that was actually more in line with my strengths, which is online marketing, teaching people how to market their specific businesses in this specific environment, and using that science background to give it a method and structure and try and try it out and make sure gets people results. So it actually took me a while to come to that. So I taught basically everything I taught rock climbing, I taught people how to ride horses, I worked in offices, I taught karate in case you're interested. And so I just studied stuff that I was interested in and I applied it, and that was basically my MO for learning and testing out different jobs.
Did you, I wouldn't say master, but were you like a 80-20 applicator of all those things? Like, are you a person like, I mean, I like to kind of step back and go, how can I get proficient and efficient at this with a minimal amount of effort? Or were you just like, I'm just going to try this and see if, mud sticks, if it sticks and if I enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like 80/20 is just being smart, lazy. So I definitely am 100% behind that, because you could waste your time on a lot of stuff that doesn't get you results. So I just tested stuff and like started refining what got results and what didn't. And so that way I could figure out 80% was crap and then what 20% I should focus on.
When the evolution to marketing and business, well, to what you're doing now, how did that come about?
So basically, I started testing different business models, and I was like, let me try to make these like handmade. Because at first I wasn't sure what I would offer online. Like, what could I sell? What would the business model look like? So I went to the ones that seemed most accessible, which was like taking old vintage Komodos and turning them into handbags. But then I realized I fucking hate sewing. I love selling, but I hate sewing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then I tried copywriting model, being a copywriter for other people, but inherently that's tough because other people don't like you putting words in their mouth. So it was a tricky business model. And then I came upon that whole time I had been giving advice to people and they've been seeing massive growth in their revenue. And so I was like, oh shit, I should probably do marketing. Actually, I took a friend yelling at me, you need to do this for a job, as my aha moment.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of you. I'm gonna.
It's better to get all of your life changing, advice at like top lung.
And what did the transition to that? How did that kind of occur? Like, was it you're like, all right, I'm all in. I'm going to do this marketing thing, and yeah. Did you have a specific audience in mind, or did that kind of evolve as you evolved and succeeded?
Yeah, I know the name, right? I was going to call it Evolve or Die, but it seems a bit too on the nose. A bit too T-Rexy, if you get my meaning. But so what I did was basically say, okay, how can I start making money? Because a business is not a business until you start making money. And what I said was like, all right, well, I know these people in this Facebook group. I know their problems really well. I'm going to create a service just based on how I can fix this easy problem for me, because I was still building up my credentials. Like, I had gotten people results in just giving them free advice, but you need to build your street cred if you're moving into a new industry and a new career online. So I just started where I could help them, which was like finding the black holes in their website, which they were losing money through. And so doing that review. And so I just popped up a sales page and I put it in front of people in the Facebook group, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, we're going to buy it. And I was like, fantastic. That's great. And so I started to develop a reputation in this small sphere of the internet in like just a couple of Facebook groups. And that was enough to generate client work, thousands of dollars of client work that was awesome. But then I let full time because I love adrenaline.
Mm.
And I didn't save up that much money. I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So I just set a date, an arbitrary date, and figured the stuff out as I went. And then after doing it for 6 months, I was struggling because I could get clients, but I was relying on word of mouth,
Mm.
which is a fickle beast. Let's say that.
Yeah, and it's the even with all of that, it's still kind of living hand to mouth.
Yeah.
In that space when you haven't got kind of a tap that you can turn on and go, all right, I got 3 clients leaving. I need to fill 3 client spaces up. I'm going to market for them, and then I'm full again. And you can kind of, it's a lot harder to plan when you don't know when that word of mouth is going to flow in. So how did you kind of solve that issue?
Well, I basically took a look at what I had done for my clients, and then I took it and applied it to my own business because I feel like, just like you were saying, those who don't do teach. I was really good at telling people the right things to do, but applying it myself to my own business took a lot of like ass kicking.
Mm.
So I did that, and then I was able to book myself out like just basically 6 or 12 months in advance from then on. And so I just kept applying this method to my own business and to other people's businesses, and it just kept working over and over again.
And what were the key fundamentals that I guess you needed to apply in your business that you weren't already doing? Was it just like the online marketing side of things? Was it, landing pages and stuff like that you hadn't been rolling out, or was it social proof, or where was your biggest weakness at that stage?
So my biggest weakness was launching stuff, but not launching. Launching is great. Launching services online is super crucial, but my packages weren't long enough for me to actually have a sustained revenue every month. So basically, I was creating too short of these packages or doing VIP days, and they were getting good money, but like I made good money one month and then I didn't make anything the next month because
Mm.
I was tapping out an audience that I had that was already super low and super small. And
Yep.
so if you're going to be booked out months in advance, you definitely need to get strategic and have longer packages, have a way to be on retainer so that you can make the most revenue from the smallest audience size you have.
Mm. Yeah, because I guess that's the thing that a lot of people in in the coaching space, in the they don't have that accession model. I think that's the
Mm,
word, is it? Yeah, like they've got the. I've been following a guy, but online, he's saying, it's a $997 product isn't sustainable to create
mhm,
a high 6 and 7 figure business once you factor in all the other associated costs and affiliates and JVs and staff and all these other kind of things that you don't necessarily associate with it, with the whole process, which is, it was quite an interesting read. But it sounds like you're kind of in that similar model of, oh cool, I can sell something, it gives me a good chunk of change, but like these people have got a lot of value out, not the they've got a lot of value out of me, but how do I give them more value?
yeah, I mean, it's great. It does give them more value because I found that I would sit down for a VIP day. I would come up with this marketing plan and it'd be great. And they'd be like, this is amazing. And then they would walk away and be like, I'll do that tomorrow. And then they never
Mm,
did.
yeah.
So sustained growth usually comes from somebody going in every month and be like, what have you done? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get your ass in gear. Because it's, we all kind of get a bit lax on continually pushing ourselves and growing. And so that was a great model for my clients as well as myself to have the resource to be like, okay, you're the marketing person. Tell me what I do next. What does this look like? What do I have to do? Why didn't this work? Why did this work? And then adjust it as needed.
And it's even sometimes just the payment of accountability.
Yeah.
Like Tony Robbins, he's got like one of the best investors in the world on his books, who for the last 25 years or something has paid him $1 million a year for 4 half-hour phone calls a year. And he does it because he knows if he isn't keeping on pushing,
Mm-hmm.
then Tony Robbins is going to rip him up every 4 months to 3 or 4 months to be like, why haven't you done this? So he's like always just got this monkey on his back that he's like, I've got to keep leveling up. I can't be complacent, and I can't stick in the same area. But yeah, it's definitely interesting thought process. I mean, I run a like a public speaking online program, but I started this off as a like a 1-day training program just to literally see if people were interested and if they'd sign up. It was just like an MVP, and I turned up, and then everyone at the end of the day is like, how do we keep working with you? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. Like, I was just seeing if this one would work first, and then it was like, I better keep striking while the iron's hot, and why there's obviously something good that you've offered, and that's generally the case with a lot of people. And I guess that's now the problem you solve, or you have been solving for a lot of people, is that all right, you offer value to your audience already. Now let's make sure that you're getting consistently paid, and paid, well for what you're doing. And because a lot of people are experts in their industry and horrible at marketing, so they're the worst kept, best kept secret in the world. Which hurts, because people get the shits that so and so who's a whatever industry, a life coach, I don't know, whatever they're in, and then there's they're like, oh, we've got way better skills than them and way more knowledge, and our training is way better than so and so's, and yet they go, well, they're obviously doing something better than you at some point, and it might not be their coaching, but they're having a bigger impact. So
I mean, I think marketing is like 75% of an online business, right? I mean, that's all the difference it is. And there's a lot of people out there who are getting work, and they're not really, like, finding someone who is good at what they do is a godsend. And so if you're really good at what you do and you're not marketing yourself well, that's not the client's fault. That's your fault, because you need to talk about yourself in a way that communicates that. And a lot of people don't, because they got feelings.
Yeah. And that's people need have a lot of bullets to bite, and again, throwing stones in a glass house when it comes to a lot of this. But what's your target market now? Like, who are the people that you spend 80% of your time with in regards to your marketing advice and marketing?
Yeah, so the people I usually help are coaches and designers and VAs, and they're usually the people who've been doing it for like a year, and they're really good at what they do, and they're getting clients, but those clients are micromanagers. They send through last minute tasks all the time. They underpay you. They don't give you pay raises or promotions or whatever. They just constantly are it's kind of like when you see a dog playing with a toy, and it just starts thrashing its head around. That's how it feels to have clients like that. Like, you're the toy. You're not having fun. The dog's having fun, but you're not having fun. So the problem usually is not their experience or their smarts. The problem is that they're not marketing their brain the right way online. So really, when it comes down to clients respecting you and paying you well, it comes down to how you talk about yourself and how you present your services, because that is the perceived value. And human brains are super illogical, and your clients need to see that stuff to be set in their place and to have the right expectations and boundaries, and to value your work, not to, and to stop them from being like, so what did you spend these 30 seconds on doing? I was like, staring into space and wishing my life was different.
Yeah. There's so much of that, particularly, I know you were saying before you got on, the entrepreneurial space or the business space, it can be a lonely area. Even though you may be surrounded by people, and so those 30-second looks into space can turn into 3 hours quite easily, and then 3 days, and you're like, shit, should have really done something in that space. But
snapshot into Victor's life.
Just as I stare out the window, just harmlessly talking. That's the only reason I got a podcast done. With the people that you work with, what are there reoccurring? Obviously, with the value proposition, but are there reoccurring problems that can be easily solved that you see consistently between different niches, different or niches. Now you're back in the US, and different industries and things like that. Is there reoccurring themes that you see time and time again?
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that I find the biggest is that people don't believe they can be booked out. I didn't believe it before I did it because I was like, yeah, whatever. I need to be like, have thousands of people following me and I need to be doing this for 10 years before I can be booked out. And it's all strategic. The other thing is people have gotten addicted to feeling good before they've actually done anything. And so the hard work that goes into setting up your business so that you can constantly be booked out is something that a lot of people shy away from because they're like, I just want to feel good.
Mm.
And I'm like, no, fuck that shit. Your feelings are always going to lead you astray. And if you're feeling good, it's because you're in denial because you got no clients. So, not really a great thing to be focusing on.
So, what do you think the percentage of your business sits with marketing advice versus psychological, getting over a lot of those boundaries? Like, is there a process to that, or is it just like disproving all right, you can actually be fully booked, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can.
Yeah, it's a good question because when I first started out, I was just like, here's the strategy, go do it. And then I would see people not doing it. I'm like, you literally just need to do this thing. And they're like, yeah, but, and I was like, I don't care, just do the thing. And they're like, yeah, but, and then they would just never do it. So in the Be Booked Out program I ran it and I was like, here's all the information you need. And people are like, this is great. I was like, yeah, but you need to put it into practice. And they're like, I can't, I have feelings. And I'm like, ah. So now I have to like spend about 20% of like, we send out support emails, we send out support content to be like, hey, you're doing okay, keep it up. Like, I get it, it's tough, keep going. And honestly, that's crucial for their success. So I don't mind doing it, even though it's not what I intended to do, but my students' success is my success. So if I need to tell them like pep talks every day, I'll give them fucking pep talks every day. Like whatever.
Yeah. And how do you deliver your stuff? What does your session model look like?
So deliver in terms of like the program itself, we use Thinkific, which is an awesome software. Just a little plug for them. Amazing customer service, such a good software. And then in terms of the model for like what we offer people.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have a whole bunch of like tiny guides to help people with their testimonials or testes, as we say in our brand. You need the perfect set of testes, Victor. You need them. Yeah.
I'm just shaking. I'm just shaking my moment.
No lumps. Watch out for lumps. They'll ruin your sales. Yeah, so we have guides like that to help people with specific skills. And then we have a written gold, which is the sales page course that increases people's conversions just amazingly. So when people start putting the sales page like template and formula into practice, people get way more clients, they sell way more stuff. It's just amazing to see it in action. And then we have Be Booked Out, which is at the top, which we have a live version and a self-paced version. And the reason why we're focusing on that is because I think that people going to work for someone in an office, those days are ending. And freelancers are going to, and they don't like to be called freelancers, but coaches, VAs, designers are going to change the way that our economy looks because they're going to be, and they already have, you can see that trend already happening, but it's going to become the norm. And so for that to be the norm, they need to be able to get clients. And most people suck at marketing. The only reason I'm good at it is because it's like the one thing I'm good at. Whereas, if you asked me to design a website, I would probably make it neon green and put a lot of dinosaurs on it. So not really ideal when you're.
Yeah, I can wholeheartedly agree. I struggle to draw stick people, so yeah, it's I mean, at the end of the day, like I think it's like in all seriousness, it's something that I don't know if that's the right, it stymies a lot of like entrepreneurs and business owners and coaches, consultants, whatever. Their progress is the trying to wear lots of different hats and trying to become a designer when they can't design, or a whatever. And that's when I think a lot of these stories creep in. Like, but like, oh, you need to get this landing page out. I say, oh, but it'll take me 3 weeks to design it. Well, what are you designing it for, man? Just if you can write good copy, write good copy. If you can't, get someone who can. If you can design, then design it. Like if you can't do any of that, then get somebody who can, and then keep doing what you're good at, which I think is yeah. I've done it. I've seen a lot of people do it, and try to wear 5 different hats all at the same time, and get nowhere really fast.
Yeah, my head's not big enough for 5 hats.
Yeah. So with the business, what has it looked like for you? Like, is it still you doing a lot of it and just outsourcing what you need, or have you got a team behind you, and how's that kind of all come about?
It's so exciting. All right, let me tell you the story. Sit down for this one, Victor. It's quite the tale. So I thought having a VA would make me really fucking special, and it would accelerate my business like whoa. So I've hired VAs before, and I fucked it up because I'm not naturally a good manager. I like to high five people too much, and then don't give any feedback.
Yep.
So unfortunately, high fives is not a full manager strategy. If it was, I'd be writing a book on it. The high five managerial program. But so what I actually found was that recently I actually put some time and effort into being like, okay, you really suck at this, Halley. How can we fix it? And so I was like, okay, well, I need someone else to do the hiring because I'm not good at that yet. And then I need someone to manage projects because I suck at that as well. So the biggest change for my business recently has been getting a project manager in who has, we were actually just doing this yesterday, the Colby test. Am I pronouncing it right? Because it sounds like a delicious burger.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Kolbe. Well, I'll call it the burger test. So we did the burger test. And it basically was showing your skills and like how you work. Like there's all these, you can go to any one of those on the internet. And I finally hired a PM, thankfully, who has got the opposite qualities as me to get shit done. And that's been transformational. Like we are getting so much done. I am so happy. And I've hired people before that gave me feels, and I kind of tried to, just ignore them, but nothing was getting done. And so it's been an evolution. And now I've got an amazing PM, an amazing VA, an amazing designer, and someone who does Pinterest specifically. And so it's really cool to see all these people come together, and it feels different. Like it's actually, people are like, they're creating relationships with each other. They're high-fiving each other because I can't stop high-fiving people. But they're high-fiving each other, Victor. It's amazing. It's like, it's cool to see everybody coming together and being really good at what they do because we help freelancers get, clients like Evolve and Succeed because a lot of people don't want to be in the main spotlight. They just want to help work on something that they enjoy, like a project they enjoy. And so it's cool to see that for the people who are working for Involve, like the team in Evolve and Succeed doing that, because we want to replicate that for other people.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, it's the thing that is super important for your own business growth as well, is to be able to make sure that you've got your team in place to be able to help all these other people grow their teams or grow themselves first, and then if it turns into teams, it turns into teams. What did the Colby test tell you? Did it tell you anything new about yourself?
Nah, it just told me that I'm an innovator who likes to think things, but I'm a practical person who wants to see it all the way to finish. So it wasn't anything really exciting, but it told me like my team members had these strengths that helped us to see better why we do things a certain way and what support we're going to need. So it's not like magical, but it's good to see it in words.
Yeah, there's a really cool guy that I like to follow, Roger Hamilton. He has one called Wealth Dynamics, and it's like an entrepreneurial based personality test, and then it's really cool because he puts you on a spectrum like most of them, but then it puts you, and it tells, well, in his stuff, it's basically how you should develop your team, which is really quite interesting. So you shouldn't, like, half the places are introverted, half the talent thing is extroverted, but it's basically saying, well, you shouldn't hire somebody one left or one right of you to start off with, because you'll probably have flow over into one. Like, you get a primary and a secondary personality, but then it's like, who is polar opposite of you? Is it the person who does all the numbers, or the person who creates all the systems in the back end, or the person who's the innovator or creator or the marketer or whatever it is? You need to be looking at like someone polar opposite you, or someone 2 to 3 spaces, or I think it's 3 spaces away from you to the one way, and then 2 spaces away from them is like your first 2 kind of people you should be trying to hire. So
That's fascinating.
so you're doing more of what you love. But the cool thing that I like about the test and is it basically spits out, this is exactly what you're like, and you're like, holy shit, and this is exactly what you hate. You're like, oh my god, which a lot of those tests do. But then it goes, okay, this Steve Jobs was this type of entrepreneur, and this is who he got on as a business partner, and this is the strengths that this person had, and this is why part of why they were successful. This is Bill Gates, or this is Warren Buffett, depending on what personality profile you sit in, and it shows the similarities of these highly successful people, but how the path they all took was completely different based on their strengths and their personality profile. Well, not necessarily them knowing their personality profiling, but the way that they developed their businesses. So it's quite cool, and just that little understanding there. But I highly recommend anyone out there, whatever test you do, it's called Wealth Dynamics.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's cool. I'd be interested to know. I don't think you'll be on the introverted side, but I'll be interested to know what you do get. I want to delve into kind of a few things more about you. Do you have a normal day now? You have this kind of this team running on a well-oiled, slick machine, or is there normality to your day?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I'm not really a routine person, and I think that's why I felt so comfortable moving to a new country by myself when I was 20. I felt, and like why I felt comfortable like taking the leap, moving into a new business, because I'm really comfortable with change. So routines don't really stick very well for me. But yeah, definitely I spend most of my days writing. I'm writing a book right now, and I'm doing a lot of speaking gigs. So like it's been able, now that we've got all these amazing strengths on the team, it's allowed me to actually focus on the stuff that's important, which I haven't had the chance to, because I've been writing emails, they're the black hole of time. And so it's been cool to just come in. I work at WeWork, which is a really cool international co-working space. And I come in and I'll usually work on like the book, and then work on, prepping for a speaking gig, and then usually work on students and supporting students in our Facebook group, and working on the course materials. We're always evolving it and improving it, because I want them to have the best strategies at their fingertips. So yes, that's usually what I spend most of my time on, just writing and figuring out how I can make more dick jokes on the internet.
Nice. Just add your Snapchat and see what the results are. With your online training side of things, and then you said you still do like a live one day, is it, or a live session?
We run a live one for 8 weeks so that they get support from me.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So it's live online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how much of your time is spent? You obviously just said the majority spent writing and then speaking now. Do you just have to basically jump in, answer questions in the Facebook group when it's needed, and then prep for your 8-week event once a week? Is that kind of what it looks like, and then just tweaking your own marketing in the back end?
Yeah, so there's basically what happens is when it's running live for 8 weeks, I go in every day to check on people and answer questions. But we've put this material through the ringer at least 4 or 5 times already, that we've updated the content so that most of the questions people have are usually covered, and people just need like a little reassurance, or just a specific tweak or to what their problem is, or a specific insight.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they need an ass kicking, and I have no problem doing that. So they've all been warned about it. So they don't go in with eyes closed. But yeah, so most of my days are spent trying to write, because when you force yourself to write, it is actually agony. And then like trying to reach out to meet other people online the beauty of moving back to the States is that I've been able to make friendships that I wasn't able to make when I was in New Zealand. So like meeting people face to face is still super important.
Yeah, it cements relationships, which is yeah, people remember you a lot more than via a Facebook message conversation when a lot of people don't realize you get 30 of them in a day. You're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
chatted online, and when there's a disproportionate amount to you versus them, like if they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I get one every day, you're like, oh, I get 30 every day, and I'll answer your question, but I'll likely not deliberately forget about you, but I'll forget about you because it's not in my relationship building side of things. The face to face really helps, and obviously the US is the big pond.
It is
Yeah.
definitely bigger over here, yeah.
And so
But so true, yeah.
so in the next 2 years, where do you see everything that you're currently doing? Where do you see your business and you? What are you doing and where are you doing it?
So I'm really excited to be helping more, coaches, designers, virtual assistants get booked out because I want to keep improving this method until we get a higher. Like at the moment, everyone who's completed it has gotten booked out, but I always want to make sure that getting people to complete a program is actually like the biggest challenge. And so like I could have the medicine for you, but if you don't want to get the shot done, then I can't give you the medicine. Like, so we're trying to figure out how we can get more people to actually like finish the work or keep moving through it. And so I'm always looking at new ways to improve that student experience and keep involving it and making sure that they're getting what they need to succeed. But in the next 2 years, what we've got is plans for growing the team, bringing on more amazing, talented, smart people to help out and improve that student experience. And then also, for 2 years, so much changes, but we've got some really big goals in terms of our metrics. We love, like, everybody on my team right now is awesome because they love challenges and they love, adventure, and they love to push themselves. So we've got like massive 10 times goals, and we all know that we want to push ourselves for those goals, but like it makes it really exciting. So right now it's about developing the business as well into an actual culture instead of just being, a set of people working on a project.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
that's awesome. The last question: what's a book or resource that you has had a massive influence on you that you recommend a lot to others?
I think Ash Amberger is like an amazing resource for marketing. The way she talks about it is she's fantastic. She's really great. And the recent resource that I read is 1 Minute Manager, which really helped me understand better like what a manager should look like instead of all the ones I've had, which are not great. Let's be honest.
It's an interesting kind of like little book. I mean, it's not big, is it? It's like it's a pretty quick one to get through. I listened to it. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things that initially you think it's logical, which it is. Like pretty much everything in life is logical. Like nothing's actually that complex. But it's logical, and then you actually look at it in workplace settings. You're like, oh, it's logical, but it's not done. Like just because it's logical doesn't mean that everyone's using their logic and is actually doing it. It's
Right.
really
And the picture of like a manager in people's head is so different and so messed up.
Yeah, you might like Smarter, Faster, Better by Charles Duhigg as well, which is what I've been listening to at the moment, which is kind of his other books, The Power of Habit. Like they're pretty awesome books. But yes, Smarter, Faster, Better is it basically looks at a lot of how decisions are made in groups and how to have effective group dynamics for success and stuff like that. Yeah, based off a lot of big companies and studies and stuff like that. And it's again, some of it's logical, but then it eliminates a lot of the other logical things that you think would work as well, to kind of say, this is what would float to the top. I will link all of that into the show notes at passiveincomeyoung.com. If people want to find out more about you, connect, start following, jump on board, where can they go? What can they do?
Go to evolveandsucceed.com, and there is some awesome resources for you to get started if you're looking to get more clients in the door and get booked out. And I am on all the social media channels except for Snapchat, oddly enough. And as Evolve Succeed, no end.
Awesome. We'll link all of that in the show notes, and if people are out there and gazing out out the window for long periods of the day and looking to step up, start evolving and succeeding, then I just want to welcome you and thank you for your time. Welcome you to the Youngpreneurs family, and I look forward to following the success, staying in touch and connecting, and watching what these next 2 years have in store.
Oh, thanks, Victor. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
My pleasure, man. Thanks a lot.
No problems. I'm sorry if I swore too much.
Thanks for listening to the Youngpreneurs podcast. This was proudly brought to you by the Podcast Institute, the #1 training resource to take your business from chasing leads to leads chasing you, and from an absolute amateur to a full-blown authority. If you're looking to take your business to the next level, then a podcast is the obvious answer. You can get national and global exposure in a very fast time, and it's just exactly what I've done with this podcast. So if you want to find out more, get a checklist on how you can get started for under $60, and to find out more through a small training video that I've prepared for you all, then please check out passiveincomeyoung.com/podcast training.